has been confirmed that heavyweight champion of the world Tyson Fury will be taken on former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia. No surprise there, on October the 28th. Joining us now for more on this is Tyson Fury's promoter, Frank Warren. Hello, Frank. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Anders. How are you?
We're good. We're very well. Frank, I'm going to be brutally honest with you, right? I love you like a sort of, an uncle.
Don't let the boys know about it.
And in the past, we've had lots of... I'm going to be brutally honest with you and tell it like it is, if that's okay. So, listen, since we announced this on talkSPORT, as we came on air at 4 o'clock, I'm looking at my switchboard, it's lit up. Boxing fans, the words they're using are nonsense. It's not a boxing match, it's farcical. The list goes on and on and on. Why have you put this fight together, firstly?
Well, because it's two guys who are the best in their relative sports. That's what they are. One is who's the champion of UFC. He's in the Guinness Book of Records as the hardest ever puncher, and he's in with Tyson. It's a fight we made, and let me tell you why did we make the fight? Because we tried to make the fight with Usyk, we tried to make it with Joshua, and neither of them wanted to know.
And Frank, was there nobody else out there? Because
tell me, who else is out there? First of all, and the other thing is, this whole division was stagnant because everybody was waiting for a big show in December, which we were told a couple of weeks ago will now be pushed back to the first quarter of 2024. So what are we going to do? Sit around waiting? They said that nothing could be done in Saudi. Well, something is being done in Saudi, and this is the fight that's being made. And and we're doing the deal with a different group of people in Saudi. So there's a market created. It's a massive game changer as far as the sport's concerned, as far as doing shows in Saudi. And more importantly, Tyson is busy. He's not fighting. He's not. You look at the fight they've announced yesterday for Joshua against Dillian Whyte. We all see Dillian Whyte and Tyson last year. It weren't even a race. Tyson done an absolute job, and everybody's now selling this fight like it's something extra special.
Frank, let me ask you, right? Because you said who else is there for him, as in him, Tyson Fury, to fight?
Go on.
Listen, I see Tyson Fury as like the flag bearer for boxing, and a lot of people are saying at the moment boxing, especially heavyweight boxing, is in the gutter. Are you suggesting that because there is a lack of opponents in this division, he's left with no choice other than to fight a UFC fighter?
No, I'm not. I'm saying that the fights will... No, it's not because of that. And I'm not going to kid anybody and say any different. But let's just say it's in the gutter. First of all, you've got Joe Joyce coming up having a rematch against Zhang. That's on. That fight's on. It's a cracking fight. How is that in the gutter? You've got Daniel Dubois fighting Usyk next month in a cracking fight. How is boxing in the gutter?
Well, it's
hang on, let me finish. Those fights. So why is Tyson going to? Because he's Tyson Fury, and he's been offered a serious lot of money to get involved in a unique event where you've got two guys from two different sports are going to fight, and it's not an exhibition, it's a fight where it's going to be a shootout, and whoever wins is going to win the fight.
Will it count on Tyson's pro boxing record? He's currently 34 fights and 33 wins.
It's a different type of event.
But will it count,
Frank? It's a different event. I don't know. You better ask the governing bodies. But as far as we're concerned, we're putting an event on with two massive punches. Let me put it this way. Have you seen any UFC fighters who don't come to fight? Or are you saying that UFC fighters are crap and they're not worth? I'm just
saying the crossover between a UFC fighter.
So what's the? I've managed and promoted lots of boxers who've been mixed martial arts fighters who've taken out professional licenses and gone on to fight for titles over the years. I've seen that.
Frank, I just think, talking on behalf of the public, I just think there's a real danger that sometimes the public can be taken for mugs. The Conor McGregor-Mayweather fight, the build-up to that was so ridiculous. I mean, someone once said to me in the build-up to it, how on earth do you think McGregor's going to win? He's not even the best boxer in Ireland. But you get carried away with it. And then
all what you're saying now, I hear what you're saying. But this is the two best of their respective sports. This is the UFC heavyweight champion who is in the Guinness Book of Records as being the hardest punching guy out there. That's what he is. They're facts.
Yeah.
And you got Tyson, and it's a crossover fight, and it's in Saudi Arabia, where they said there'd be no boxing. We've managed to get a show on in Saudi Arabia where there will be a fight. And let me tell you something. You know who's going to be asked in to broadcast this fight? talk sport.
No,
So
I know.
please.
Listen,
But if you don't, let me tell you something. If you don't want to do it, it ain't a problem. We can take it
listen.
elsewhere.
As I said earlier on, right? Just because talkSPORT are broadcasting it, I understand it does numbers, right? And we're a commercial radio station. I get that. But that doesn't mean I can't be honest. And as a boxing fan, say
no one's saying you can't be honest, but then you're saying we can't be commercial. You can be a commercial radio station.
No.
You can have your opinions, Andy. You can have your opinions, and I respect them and appreciate your opinions. And Tyson is a professional athlete who's had a magnificent offer to take on the best from another sport.
It's
from
just
another sport, and so that's where we are.
Yeah, but Frank, it's just you've been around the business a long time. I know you feel passionately. Boxing's been your life and in your blood. But the credibility of your sport as well is also very important. The credibility of your fighter is also very, very important. But he's the world champion. He's someone that we all absolutely love to see having proper fights, not Mickey Mouse stuff on the other side of the world in the middle of the night.
Why? Sorry, stop. Where'd you get Mickey Mouse?
Well, because he's the world champ, Frank. He's the world champ, and he should be fighting the proper people.
Well, sorry, we made serious offers to what you call the proper people. So what you're saying, the guy who's not a proper athlete?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all.
So I don't understand the point you make. Is he not a warrior? Is he not a fighter? Is he not the best? What is UFC a Mickey Mouse situation?
Well, no, it most certainly isn't. But if you're going to have if boxing all of a sudden is just going to be going down this road, we're having these crossover fights when all of a sudden the fights that the public really want, and you know as well, Frank, come on.
Well,
I know you've got a job to do, but
listen,
the fight the public really want, you haven't got it on the table. That's the truth.
Not me. We've made the offers. Well, all right, so let me answer that. So we made an offer to Usyk. We made him a big offer to make the fight here, and he didn't want to do it. They were all waiting until December, which has now become 2024, rather than fight Tyson here, who Tyson would take less money to fight these guys. That's what he said. I'll take less money. I'll fight him here. Let's fight him. You had Joshua, who said he didn't want the fight. He's not taking the fight because it weren't serious. I mean, what planet is he on? It weren't serious. He's fighting a guy who Tyson destroyed last year. And today, I was listening on the radio earlier. They're saying, what a good fight. It's a great fight. Tyson destroyed him last year against the world champion. This fella comes to fight. He's got heart, he can punch, and he comes to fight. And I'll tell you something, if he hits Tyson on the chin, he may do a job on Tyson if he catches him. Well, I don't think he will. I think Tyson's too much for anybody. But please, do me a favour. Don't say it's like this fella's showing up to make the numbers. He's coming. He's getting paid a heck of a lot of money because this is a big event. It is a commercial event, and I accept that. It's a very commercial event, and that's the reason why it's going on when it's going on. In Saudi, they have stepped up to the plate, and at least we're moving. In the meantime, if he weren't fighting this guy, he wouldn't be fighting Usyk, and he wouldn't be fighting Joshua because they both got fights at the moment.
Okay, let me ask you then. Let's talk about the fight, if I may then, Frank. So is it a 10-round fight or is it a 12-round fight? 3 minutes, I assume, as well?
It's 3 minutes, and it'd done on boxing rules. And at the end of the day, it's a proper fight. And I'm telling you, it will be, while it lasts, it'll be a war while it lasts. I'm not going to say anything. I think Tyson beats everybody. I'm not in any shape or form saying any different. But I don't know what this guy brings. Okay. All I know, this fella can whack. He's a massive puncher. Can I ask, there's no belts on the line, is that right? Well, there won't be any belts on the line because the guy's not ranked in it. We're not selling it. It's an event. It's a boxing. It's an event. This fella's fighting Tyson under boxing rules. We're not saying that he's in the ratings. He's not in the ratings, and he won't be in the ratings. It is what it is. It's a crossover, and it's a crossover event between two guys from two different disciplines. Okay, so let me ask you. That's what it is, Frank. Because it's sort of a backhanded compliment when you get boxing fans phoning up saying they're disappointed. It's because they love Tyson. They want to see him against the best, right? So let's just say he comes through this unscathed. This is at the end of October. Do you have his next fight lined up, or do you hope to have his next fight lined up? And where would that be, and who against? Where do you see his next step after this, Frank? Well, eventually he's going to have to have his mandatory. Now, at the moment, we tried to get the fight on with Usyk. Usyk asked for $20 million to come to the UK to fight him. The WBC said that Usyk will have to fight Wilder in a final elimination to determine who's going to beat Tyson's entry. That hasn't happened yet, which is not our fault. That's down to them. But the fact of life is, we get this one out of the way, and then Tyson will move on and have his and then defend his title, his WBC title.
Yep.
This is not for the WBC title. No one is saying that. What this is a crossover event between boxing and the UFC champion. That's what it is.
Okay.
And we're not selling it any different. We're not trying to sell it any differently. That's what it is. We'll see who's the best out of both of them.
I get it. And by the way, do you know how much pay-per-view will be for this fight yet? Or is that's not been determined?
We haven't even got there yet.
Okay.
On that.
Listen,
it's in October.
Frank, I'm just being honest with you. As a boxing fan, I want to see your guy in with the very best. So you understand why boxing fans would get frustrated about this. I understand Andy, from your perspective. I'm with
you. Let me tell you, Andy, I want Tyson in the boxing with the best he can fight. But unfortunately, they're not available.
Sure.
Please tell me, are they available or not? Tell me right now.
I get that, and I get it's about the money.
So what's he got to do? Sit on his backside, and we're told we got to wait we basically got to wait to be determined when Skill Set Challenge can put a fight on in 2024 involving. Forget that. We're not sitting around on our back. If this doesn't happen, Tyson has got to fight, and he's got to fight now. This is a crossover event. This is a big event. And don't tell me people won't buy it. There'll be some people will be upset, and I understand that, and I get them. But you've got to understand what it is. And what it is for us is a game changer. It's a game changer as an event, and it's a game changer because Saudi Arabia is no longer exclusive.
Okay.
There is another game in town in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. Listen, Uncle Frank, I hope I'm still on your Christmas card list.
Of course you are,
okay,
I would never do anything. And you know what? And I appreciate what you're saying, and I understand it and take on board. And remember, there's been a lot of stuff been pumped out over the last 2 weeks, which has been a lot of misinformation. But this is a fight. This will be, as soon as that bell goes, what's he going to do, Ngannou? He can only do one thing. He's got to go and try and put it on Tyson. He's got to try and knock him out. Can he do it? And that's what we're going to see.
Frank, always a pleasure.
Frank.
Thanks so much for your honesty. Real pleasure. We'll speak to you again soon.
Thanks, fellas. You look after yourself.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.